Imagine one day you get a random rush of creativity and decide you want to start a new hobby or project, but you're not exactly sure how or where you should start. Prior to the invention of the internet, if you wanted to learn something about a specific hobby, you would either A, need to go to a library, or B, you would need to join a specific group dedicated to said hobby. While there are definite pros to going out and finding people who have similar interests, as that's never a bad thing, it isn't always the most accessible way to learn a new hobby. With the advent of the internet, it has never been easier to pick up a new skill that could either be for a hobby or any other creative pursuit, or for something that you could even turn into a profession. We have the most information available at our fingertips now compared to all of human history. Whether it's Pinterest or Google, search engines can and should help users learn about a topic or get inspired to take some sort of action. So why is Google telling people to add glue to their pizza sauce? Hello, I'm Ayasuna and I'm some random who makes videos, more specifically art videos. While I don't tend to make videos like this, I felt that this issue was something that affects not just artists and other creatives, it affects everyone who uses the internet. Whether it's for work or school or just simply goofing off, finding answers on the internet has been a bit more difficult these past few years. But like I said, it didn't always used to be like this. So why does it feel like more and more of a chore to get a straight answer for a simple question? Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm mainly going to focus on Pinterest, but what I say here can easily apply to Google as well as Meta, but I've previously made a video talking about Facebook's AI policy and how that's discouraging artists and other creatives from posting on their platforms. Now back to the topic at hand. Now I didn't start to take art seriously until like I was a teenager, maybe 15 or 16. That was around the time I started to post art online. But where I came from, I didn't exactly have a lot of money for art classes or any sort of formal training. If it weren't for Pinterest or YouTube University, my art would have likely never developed beyond the novice level. And obviously I still have a long way to go. Back in the day, Pinterest used to be a place to go for inspiration, or in my case, I would look at pages from different art books since I couldn't exactly afford any on my own. I have been using Pinterest for a very long time. In fact, if you visit my card, you can see the various boards I made for all of my original characters, some of which that go back for many years. For me, it was the place to keep my ideas in a somewhat organized fashion. A visual library, if you will. However, in the past few years or so, Pinterest has sort of felt like a shadow of its former self. While no online platform is sacred, I did notice that these problems were becoming more and more of a thing when I started to embark on my new project. If you've been following me on social media, I've been teasing for a while that I wanted to make a PNG tuber model. In fact, here I'm drawing the different expressions for my PNG tuber model here. I have seen plenty of PNG tuber models. I have friends that are PNG tubers as well as VTubers, but I didn't exactly know how to get started on my own, so I turned to the internet for answers. Right off the bat, I knew I wanted my model to be inspired by 90s anime, specifically Cowboy Bebop, but also Trigun, both of which are series that I really enjoy and have rewatched multiple times. So naturally, I popped onto Pinterest and typed in 90s anime. A generic search, I know, but I wanted to get a feel on how I wanted to color my model and the overall feel as far as what clothes she would wear. Almost immediately, without me even having to scroll, the first few images that I see are AI generated. Not exactly what I was expecting. When I typed 90s anime, I imagined to see shows like Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, or Trigun like I had mentioned. I keep scrolling and the first 30 to 40% of the images that I see are quote-unquote AI art. And another 10 to 20% of what I see here is some form of advertisement. And another chunk of what I see on my feed is art that has been reposted without the knowledge of the original artist. A little disturbing so far, but maybe it was my fault. Like I said, I didn't really narrow down my search, so I decided to try again. I try refining my search to 90s anime art styles. But now it seems like even more of my feed is filled with quote-unquote AI art. And even more art that somehow looks like it's been reposted from other artists. I decided maybe that Cowboy Bebop and Trigun are more sci-fi oriented shows, so I decided to add that to my search. But nope, even more AI pops up here. Unfortunately, you're starting to see a bit of a trend here. Pinterest, a place once known for inspiration and creativity, is becoming a dumping ground for Stable Diffusion, also known as AI art. Not only that, even if you do find something cool on the platform, it is most likely an advertisement. Much like TikTok and Instagram, Pinterest also has its own marketplace where people can buy and sell goods. They are also trying to get into the game of short-form videos like Instagram Reels or TikTok themselves. But I can't help but think that this is sort of ruining the platform from its intended purpose. And I'm not alone on that thought either. So not only is the platform being overrun with AI-generated content, it is also filled with ads. The only place free of aggressive advertising is from my very own boards that I created. Pinterest, just like other platforms, is also dealing with its own use of botted accounts, which also contribute to stolen content and even more advertisements. I've had pins removed from my own boards saying that they contained NSFW content when it was really just drawing references with no exposed skin. It was just a figure, not even a real person. Their policies are quite vague, and there's no real policy regarding AI-generated content or any way to filter that from your feed. I have even heard from others saying that if you use an ad block to go on their website, the website itself doesn't exactly function as intended. Others complain that some pins were taken down and they weren't exactly given a reason as to why. All in all, Pinterest is having a lot of problems. A place that was used to be filled with human ideas and creativity is now becoming more and more of a chore to use, and it's near impossible to contact the company regarding any changes to the platform. I imagine if changes don't happen soon, the whole platform itself may become unusable. In some ways, it already sorta is. While Instagram and TikTok get a lot of flack regarding AI-generated content, they at least do have a setting on there that shows you what content is or isn't made from AI. Even YouTube has implemented that feature recently. But Pinterest does not do that. Currently, there is no way to filter out AI from your search results. While a ton of advertisements are annoying, I could have looked past that if there was a way to actually see high-quality images. But with AI, it almost seems like nothing of value is worth seeing on that website anymore. Even if you don't remove AI art from the platform, at least have a way to tag AI art so it's less prevalent. At least on Google Chrome, there are extensions that can help you block from AI content. But that's really just a band-aid on a growing problem of AI proliferating around the internet. While I'm not any expert on the internet or websites and platforms themselves, I can't help but think that it's probably a bad thing to have a bunch of inauthentic content floating around. If users can't tell the difference between fake content or something that's actually going on, I can't imagine that wouldn't cause problems down the road. The proliferation of AI will cost people their livelihoods, but it can also be detrimental to their own health. Not only that, it just ruins the quality for all users of a platform. And I know that Pinterest isn't as big as Google or Meta when it comes to size and scope, but if they can have a bot that filters out posts that are quote-unquote NSFW, I can't imagine that it would be hard for them to have a filter to filter out content that's AI generated. While I'm not a conspiracy theorist by nature, it does seem that the dead internet theory does have some merit when it comes to larger platforms. Intrudification is something that's not just impacting Google, it's impacting Pinterest, as well as all other social media platforms. I don't think anyone's naive enough to believe that these corporations have a good interest in the data that they collect from us if they can't even be transparent about their own policies. The internet should have been a great place for creativity and inspiration, but everywhere we look, all the platforms that we used to love are feeling a lot more stale these days. You know, this whole situation sort of reminds me of the new McDonald's versus the old McDonald's. The old school McDonald's almost had like a diner feel, while the newer McDonald's restaurants almost feel like a clinic. Which is ironic, you will probably feel like you need to go to the hospital after you eat anything from McDonald's these days. But regardless, this is a video that I have been wanting to make for quite a while, and I finally found the time to do so. Regardless, this is just my opinion on what Pinterest should do if they want to fix their platform. I'm no expert when it comes to social media, but this is something that is near and dear to me and a lot of people that I know. If you disagree or have another take that I didn't mention in this video, then don't hesitate to leave a comment. Also, a like as well as a subscribe would really help my channel grow, as I've been doing this for around 3 to 4 months at this point. My goal is to upload at least one long-form video per week, but as I get more used to the editing and voiceover process, I do think I will be more consistent in the future and be able to increase my upload schedule. Regardless, stay tuned for more videos and take care. Bye.